Alright guys, this is pretty much everything you need. I don't have another micro Deans connector. I used them all, so I'm just going to show you guys how to solder the wires to the battery, how to take the battery apart, and I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out how to put a connector onto the end of the wires. So I got the iron heating up while I'm going to grab my scissors and start taking the batteries apart. Quick rundown, this is no clean flux. I recommend using flux anytime. A lot of guys don't, but it really helps to make contact, and it's there to clean the surface and make it stick right. This is called Captain tape. It is a type of electrical tape. Some of you guys know it from the TYG servos, the fix where they showed out on the aluminum case. So you put either some liquid tape underneath and the bottom, but this works really well for that. Razor blade and solder scissors. Make sure you get a nice pair of sharp scissors. The first thing I do with this connector here is I always try to cut the front edge off first, going along this side, this side, this side, and this side. That way you don't run the risk of cutting into the battery or cutting into the existing leads over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now the front of the battery should be pretty much exposed and open. Now we're going to go about cutting the sides off, left and right. Same idea, very carefully just across the side. So the casing around, only thing that's left now is the top and the bottom. And you should be able just to peel that off with your fingers. One side, then the other side. So now you have the battery open and exposed. Now the next task is to get rid of all the glue that's everywhere without tearing the aluminum tabs off. Soldering to aluminum is extremely difficult. It can be done. You basically have to take a drop of motor oil or cooking oil on it and solder through it instead of using flux, but the tabs are so small and brittle that you're better off trying to get the old connector off by desoldering it from the existing lead. So just grab your fingers and kind of work your way around it. Oh, I always spread the whatever the covering is here to make it easier to get to. That's perfectly fine to do. Now be careful at this step, because if you just go ahead and rip off the hot glue right here, you're going to rip the lead off. So you're going to have to really carefully work at this. Try to pull the connector forward some while holding the tabs, just to get some space, and then keep picking at it. And you should be able to pull around it nicely. always try to support the aluminum tabs a little bit with your fingers so you don't rip them. Okay, now the only thing that's left that you see is a little bit of Captain tape that's covering the terminal here. You can work your way around that the same way to expose the positive lead. Now, on the insides of these, every manufacturer does it a little different. These are glaciers. I'm going to do another one in a minute after this one with a factory E-Flight. The Oversky 200s had a plastic support piece in here that was just a plastic spacer, which is a nice design. It's a little extra support. Those are a little more pain in the ass to work with, just to work them out, but it can be done. So just go at it easy, take your time. And it should look something like this. I'm going to take a little bit of flux and put it on the pads. It helps here to have something hold the battery while you grab the solder iron and try to get the connector off. The reason why I like Oversky's setup is because here you can really see there's nothing really protecting it, these two from touching other than the hot glue. Oversky's has a plastic bridge that sits from here to here with a middle divider so the contacts can't ever touch. But this will be fine. You can either hot glue it back together or you can wrap it with Captain tape. You won't have any problems. We're going to go ahead and tin our new leads now. make note when you take apart your battery which side is positive and which side is negative. I've had to go back and look on the first time I did it. If you're looking down at the battery, it's gonna be backwards in the video. So when you see it from your perspective, looking down, it's gonna look like this. It'll be this one, the left one. Looking down from your perspective will be the left one. In my case, from the camera view, if I'm looking at it, this one here is the left one. Okay, now I'm just going to put another drop of flux on here. That's really it. From this point, if you notice that your tabs, the aluminum tabs, are very flimsy, some of them are, some of them are not, I would suggest taking a drop of hot glue, dabbing it in the center, and then either some electrical tape or you could use shrink wrap, whatever you like. I'm just doing a nice bead around it. Then of